Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today I have a very exciting video for you guys. As you can tell from the thumbnail and the title, today I have my very first come book shopping with me video, and it's a good one. I did do a come book shopping with me video back during COVID, but as we were in lockdown, it was a come book shopping online with me video, which was a lot of fun. You guys seemed to enjoy it, but today I'm so excited to be bringing an actual, in real life, let's go book shopping. Let's take a cute montage of all the bookshops and me searching through those bookshops for gems video. So I was recently in London with two of my very best friends who I've met here on booktube, Christy and Maddie, and we spent the weekend going around all of our favourite bookshops, ones I've visited before and ones I have not, and spending a lot of money, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. All bets were off. I saved up for this trip, I worked hard, I was in London, and let's just say willpower went right out the window. I did go down there with a couple of books that I definitely wanted to purchase. So I knew we were going to Forbidden Planet, so first of all I really wanted to pick up Spy Family because I have been hearing so many great things about that manga. I've said in previous videos I really want to start expanding my manga collection, and that's like a good place to start, so I did want to pick up those. Forbidden Planet do usually have a 3 for 2 deal, so I did plan on picking up the first 3 volumes, let's be honest. I also really want to pick up Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. You guys may know that I just flew through the Bone Season series at the end of last year, beginning of this year, and I am obsessed with her writing. I'm also going to her event in Edinburgh in March for A Date of Fallen Night, so of course I want to have read Priory of the Orange Tree before attending that, so I actually have some clue of what she's talking about. Those were the only books that were really on my agenda. Apart from that, I was just really excited to go on a proper book shopping experience, pick up different books, maybe pick up things that I haven't actually heard of, I haven't had recommended, also take some recommendations from my friends, and just all around have a great time. So without further ado, let's travel back in time a little, and why don't you come book shopping in London with me? am now back in Glasgow and I acquired quite a few books on that trip. As you may have been able to tell, we went in 5 bookshops and across those bookshops the average / minimum amount of books I left with was 4. So I do have over 20 books to talk to you guys about today. Obviously, this is not something I do often. I do not splurge and buy this amount of books in one go a lot. This was just a very special occasion. I will not be splurging like this for a long time now. But I am so excited about each and every book that I picked up. So I'm going to try and not ramble too much. Let's talk about all the amazing books I picked up. So first of all, we went to Forbidden Planet and like I said, I did plan to pick up Spy Family. So of course, I picked up Spy Family Volume 1 and 2 and 3. To no one's surprise, let's be honest. Like I said, they were on 3 for 2. I have heard such good things about this manga series. I'm having them recommended to me left, right and centre, online and in real life. So if I do not like these, I'm going to be pretty shocked and appalled, to be honest. Master Spy Twilight is unparalleled when it comes to going undercover on dangerous missions for the betterment of the world. But when he receives the ultimate assignment, to get married and have a kid, he may finally be in over his head. Not one to depend on others, Twilight has his work cut out for him, procuring both a wife and a child for his mission to infiltrate an elite private school. What he doesn't know is that the wife he's chosen is an assassin, and the child he's adopted is a telepath. I'm sorry, that just sounds so good. I can see myself flying through these volumes like in one sitting, and needed to take a little trip to the Forbidden Planet in Glasgow and get the rest of them. Also in Forbidden Planet, I did pick up the other book on my list, so we very quickly ticked off all the books I had planned to acquire. I picked up The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Like I said, I do need to read this by March and I am currently over halfway through it, which let me tell you, when this first came out, I was not in my fantasy era, and looking at the size of this chonker of a book, I completely wrote it off. I was like, there's no way I am ever going to read that book. 800 pages, absolutely not. So the fact that I'm now over halfway through, wild. Wild. A world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. This one is like a proper high fantasy and it's the first high fantasy I've actually ever read, but I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I can't get enough of it. It's definitely not as dense as I had thought it would be, and it's opening up my eyes to the fact that I may actually be a high fantasy gal. And the final book that I picked up in Forbidden Planet is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This one is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and I love the story of Hades and Persephone. I don't know what it is, I just cannot get enough of that dark romance. This one is obviously a fantasy romance retelling. I've heard really good things about this. I've heard really good things about Scarlett St. Clair's writing. Persephone is the goddess of spring in title only. Since she was a little girl, flowers have only shriveled at her touch. After moving to New Athens, she hoped to lead an unassuming life, disguised as a mortal journalist. All of that changes when she sits down in a forbidden nightclub to play a hand of cards with a hypnotic and mysterious stranger. Hades, god of the dead, has built a gambling empire in the mortal world, and his favourite bets are rumoured to be impossible. But nothing has ever intrigued him as much as the goddess offering up a bargain he can't resist. After her encounter with Hades, Persephone finds herself in a contract with the god of the dead, and his terms are impossible. Persephone must create life in the underworld or lose her freedom forever. The bet does more than expose Persephone's failure as a goddess, however. As she struggles to sow the seeds of her freedom, love for the god of the dead grows, a love that is both captivating and forbidden. I love me a dark fantasy romance, and this one sounds like a good one. Like, the top here says, "Let me worship you," he said. His request felt sinful and devious, and she revelled in it. She answered, yes. Oh my god, I cannot wait to dive into that one. I'm so excited. So next up we went to Foyles, and again I picked up a little haul there. So first of all, I picked up The Time Traveller's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. I have been meaning to read this book pretty much my whole life. I watched the film years ago and I loved it. I'm pretty sure I cried my eyes out, and I can't properly remember it, which is a good thing because I really want to go into this and hopefully be surprised. This one was thrust into my hands by Maddie because she absolutely loves this. It's one of her favourite books of all time and she thinks it is right up my street. This is the extraordinary love story of Claire and Henry, who met when Claire was 6 and Henry was 36, and were married when Claire was 22 and Henry 30. Impossible, but true, because Henry suffers from a rare condition where his genetic clock periodically resets and he finds himself pulled suddenly into his past or future. In the face of this force they can neither prevent nor control, Henry and Claire's struggle to lead normal lives is both intensely moving and entirely unforgettable. This one sounds like such a beautiful book. I feel like it's one that's really going to suck me in. I'm going to get lost in it and maybe shed a tear or two as well. Next up, I picked up The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. I actually had not heard of this one at all. I was just completely drawn in by the cover. I literally ran to this when I saw these colours like peeking out from the table in foils, and instantly I knew I had to buy it. Elise is cursed. Every time she touches someone, she experiences how they will die. And when she predicts, but is unable to prevent, her brother's death, Elise is desperate to escape her terrible gift. Then she meets Claire, a vampire tasked with helping Elise master her rare powers, and recruiting her to the Veil, a secret organisation determined to protect the paranormal world at all cost. At first, Elise is reluctant to work with a vampire, but when she predicts a teacher's imminent murder, she's determined to stop the violent death. As Elise and Claire grow closer, Elise begins to wonder, can she really trust someone tasked with securing her loyalty? Someone who could so easily kill her. Someone who might hold the key to unravelling her brother's mysterious death. This one sounds like such a good, fun, like teen YA romance. I have been getting out of my YA era recently, but I'm still ready to like delve back in, like dip my toe in here and there. And I'm sorry, but how could I not pick up this cover? I then picked up King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett Sinclair, and I did not realise until I got home that Scarlett Sinclair was also the author of A Touch of Darkness, and I've picked up 2 of her books. Unintentionally, I've never read any of her books before, so I don't even know if I like her writing style, but I've been meaning to pick up both these books for so long without knowing they were both by her, so let's just hope I enjoy her writing. Isolde de Lara considers her wedding day to be her death day. To end a years-long war and protect the people of her kingdom, she is to marry the Vampire King, Adrian Alexander Vasiliev, and kill him. But her assassination attempt is thwarted, and Adrian warns that if Isolde tries to kill him again, he will raise her as the undead. Faced with the possibility of becoming the thing she hates most, Isolde seeks other ways to defy him and survive the violence and political machinations of Adrian's brutal vampire court. Except it isn't the court she ends up fearing the most, it's Adrian and her intense attraction to him. Wrapped in mystery and a past he refuses to discuss, Adrian nevertheless starts to become less of a monster to Isolde. Despite their undeniable chemistry, Isolde can't help but wonder why the king, fierce, complicated, ambitious, and at times inexplicably tender, chose her as consort. The answer will shatter her world. Once again, instantly just feel like I'm gonna absolutely love this. Like, I feel like Scarlett Sinclair could be a new favourite author. I just love a good, dark, forbidden romance, and I've heard amazing things about this one. Cannot wait to pick it up. And finally, in foils, I did pick up The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I have since read this within a couple of days while we were still in London because I literally could not put it down. I am definitely becoming an Elle Kennedy convert. This is a hockey romance, and there is a full series of them which you guys probably already know. We follow each of the guys like in a friendship group on this hockey team who all, I believe, start off as players. Then they meet that one girl that like turns their head. They fall first. They have to work to earn her love. Ah, I just love it. That is my type of romance, and I absolutely loved Garrett Graham in this. He is fine. I can't wait to read the rest of the books in this series. I think I'm gonna have to like collect them all now, hopefully all in the same size, which can be difficult to do. Next up, we went to Waterstones, and the first book I picked up was Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. You guys may know I am not a huge Christina Lauren fan. All the books I've read by them so far, I think I've given 2 and 3 stars. They just don't, like, I love the concepts of their books, but the way that it is carried out just misses the mark for me. Love and Other Words is the one everyone raves about. So many people say it's like their favourite book of all time, so I thought I would give them one last shot to impress me, and I'm going to try and read this book. I'm considering doing a vlog for this one, so if that's something you guys would be interested in, please do let me know. If you want a vlog for any of the books I'm talking about today, let me know. Just pop a comment down below. This one says, "The heart may hide, but it never forgets. Then, at 13 you were my first real friend. At 15 you were my first love. At 18 you were my everything. We were about to take take on the world together until one mistake shattered our future. Now, I'm about to marry a safe man who will never touch my heart, whose loss could never break me. He doesn't really need me, and that's how I like it. Until one day I turned around in a coffee shop and there you were. It's been 11 years and nothing has changed. I don't know how to forgive you, and worse, I don't know if I can resist you. Loving you nearly destroyed me, but losing you again is unthinkable. Am I brave enough to risk it all? I mean, once again, this sounds like a good, powerful, emotional book, so fingers crossed this can redeem Christina Lauren for me. Okay, these next books people may judge me for. I have an issue, a problem, where if I think I'm going to enjoy a series, I tend to buy all the books in that series in one go without even reading the first one first, or actually reading anything by the author. So I bought the entire Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. So we've got the fine print, terms and conditions, and final offer. I am pretty confident I'm gonna love these books. Like, I've heard such amazing things. Maddie loved them. She thinks I'll love them, and she does know my reading tastes. This one, I believe, again, is like, is it 3 brothers? I want to say it's 3 brothers, and each book is like a different brother's romance, which I love. I love series like that. I love romance series where it's about different people in like a friendship group or a family, and then we see like little tidbits of the ones in the previous books in the next books. Yeah, I don't really know too much about these, which you may think is an issue considering I've just bought the whole series, but I'm so excited to pick them up nonetheless. Okay, on to day 2. First of all, we went to a little independent shop near where Maddie lives, and I picked up a book that I have wanted in my life for a long time. Again, I do plan on doing a reading vlog for this one because I feel like it's either going to be a love or hate book, and I really want to get my reactions on camera when I do finally read it. That is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. If you guys watched my recent unhaul, you'll know I did just unhaul this, but I unhauled the very shabby mass market paperback copy, and I said in the video I want to pick up a good like quality copy. It's just how my brain works. I just wanted a nice copy to keep on my bookshelves. And mass market paperbacks, like that was the one mass market paperback I have. It doesn't go with the rest of my books. Just don't judge me. Under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, their lives are changed profoundly and forever. I've heard such amazing things about this book. It's like the classic dark academia. I'm like 90% sure I'm gonna love it. The one thing I'm put off by is that I know the chapters in this are ridiculously long. Like, I'm pretty sure one of the chapters in this is over 100 pages long, which, why? Like, just split that up into like 5 20-page chapters. I'm sure there is logical stopping points within that chapter. But nonetheless, I am excited to read it. Hopefully we'll have a reading vlog for this soon. Next up, we went to Book Bar, which honestly, day 2, this bookshop, I didn't think I was going to pick up any books, but of course I picked up 4. So first of all, I picked up a book that I had literally heard nothing about while we were there. One of the booksellers just put this book out. They just got it in a box in the post and they just put it straight out on the shelves, and immediately I was drawn to the cover, and that is Wahala by Nikki May. Like, how freaking gorgeous is that cover? How can I not pick that up? Ronke wants happily ever after and 2.2 kids. She's dating Coyote and wants him to be the one. Her friends think he's just another in a long line of dodgy Nigerian boyfriends. Boo has just what Ronke wants, a kind husband and a gorgeous child, but she's frustrated, unfulfilled and desperate to remember who she used to be. Simi is the golden one with the perfect lifestyle and a career. No one knows she's crippled by imposter syndrome and tempted to pack it all in each time her boss mentions her urban vibe. Her husband thinks they're trying for a baby. She's not. When the high-flying, charismatic Isabel explodes into the group, she seems to bring out the best in each woman. But the more Isabel intervenes, the more chaos she sows, until Ronke, Simi and Boo's lifelong friendship begins to crack. How close to the edge will she push them? Like, I was completely drawn in by that blurb. I'm really intrigued to read this one. I think it's going to be full of humour, and I love how it's going to explore how all of these different women have very different lives, but all kind of want each other's. There's pros and cons to them all. Every woman's different. I think it's going to be such a good, witty and poignant book, and I cannot wait to pick it up. I love when you just like find a book that you've never even heard of and pick it up in a bookshop. That's what I love about physical book shopping. I also picked up Pin and Essay by Susanna Clark. Again, this is one that's been on my radar for a long time, and I've been told I will love it. Pin and Essay lives in the house. Perhaps he always has. Then messages begin to appear, scratched out in chalk on the pavement. There is someone new in the house, but who are they and what do they want? Lost texts must be found, secrets must be uncovered. The world that Piranesi thought he knew is becoming strange and dangerous. The beauty of the house is immeasurable, its kindness infinite. Honestly, from that I have literally no clue what this book is about. I've just heard that it is like captivating, really well written. I love books that are a little bit weird and just draw me into this like strange world that I don't even really completely understand. So fingers crossed I love this one. I also picked up in Book Bar Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. This one I have seen everywhere. It's a nice short book that I want to chuck in somewhere. I feel like it's one that could make me shed a tear. Two young people meet at a pub in South East London. Both are Black British. Both won scholarships to private schools when they struggled to belong. Both are now artists. He a photographer, she a dancer. Trying to make their mark in a city that by turns celebrates and rejects them. Tentatively, tenderly, they fall in love. But two people who seem destined to be together can still be torn apart by fear and violence. At once an achingly beautiful love story and a potent insight into race and masculinity, Open Water asks what it means to be a person in a world that sees you only as a black body, to be vulnerable when you're only respected for strength, to find safety in love only to lose it. I just feel this one can only be a 5-star read. I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful, powerful, and I'm really excited to own it. The final book I picked up in Book Bar was The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. I love Beth O'Leary's writing. I have read and own The Flatshare and The Switch. Loved both of them. Her writing style is just so fun and witty and I just fly through her books. The No-Show and The Road Trip are the two books that I still needed, so of course when I saw The No-Show I picked it up. 8:52 a.m. Siobhan's looking forward to her date with Joseph. Breakfast on Valentine's Day surely means something. So where is he? 2:43 p.m. Miranda's hoping that a Valentine's Day lunch with Carter will be the perfect way to celebrate her new job. But why hasn't he shown up? 6:30 p.m. Joseph Carter promised to be Jane's fake boyfriend at a dreaded engagement party tonight, but he's not here. Meet Joseph Carter, that is, if you can find him. Like, again, this just sounds just like her other books. A really good, fun, uplifting book that I could just sit down with and get lost in and have a good, heartwarming time. And the final bookshop we visited was, of course, Gaze the Word. I could not go to London without visiting Gaze the Word. So I did pick up another 4 books. First of all, I picked up Ashton Parker Doesn't Fall by Ashley Herring Blake. I do already have Lila Green Doesn't Care, which I gave 5 stars, I believe. I love that book. Again, this is a series where we follow different women in like a close-knit group. So Delilah Green was the first one. Absolutely loved it. Amazing sapphic romance. And Ashley Parker Doesn't Fall is the next one, which I'm so excited to go into. It is a rivals to lover story with a big beating heart. Hopefully this one will make me laugh just as much as Delilah Green did. Hopefully I will be just as invested in the characters. Maybe we'll get a little bit of Delilah Green in there as well. Yeah. Cannot wait to pick this one up. Next up, I picked up Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan. This one has been out for a very long time, but when it came out and the sequel came out, I was not in my fantasy era, as I've already mentioned, so I never dived into it, but now that I'm back to loving fantasy again, I feel like this is one I have to give a go, especially because how freaking beautiful is that cover. Leigh is a member of the Paper Caste, the lowest and most persecuted class of people in Akara. 10 years ago, her mother was snatched by the Royal Guards, and her fate remains unknown. Now the guards are back, and this time it's Leigh they're after, the girl with the golden eyes, whose rumoured beauty has piqued the king's interest. Over weeks of training in the opulent but oppressive palace, Leigh and 8 other girls learn the skills and charm that befit a king's consort. There, Leigh does the unthinkable. She falls in love. Her forbidden romance becomes enmeshed with an explosive plot that threatens her world's entire way of life, and Leigh, still the wide-eyed country girl at heart, must decide how far she's willing to go for justice and revenge. From what I've heard, this one is very fast-paced, action-packed, and exciting, but also has a really beautiful sapphic romance at its heart as well. So once again, really excited to pick it up. Next up, I picked up another book that I also had not heard anything about, but the cover instantly drew me in, and that was These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. Okay, so whoever designs the covers for Isabel Sterling is clearly doing something right. I've picked up both these books unintentionally because I was drawn to the covers, and they're both her book. Wow. Okay, mind blown. But yes, I'm really excited to read this one. Hannah's a witch, but not the kind you're thinking of. She's the real deal, an elemental with the power to control fire, earth, water, and air. But even though she lives in Salem, Massachusetts, her magic is a secret she has to keep to herself. If she's caught using it in front of a reg, which she could lose it for good. So Hannah spends most of her time avoiding her ex-girlfriend and fellow elemental witch Veronica, hanging out with her best friend and working at the fly-by-night cauldron, selling candles and crystals to tourists, goths and local Wiccans. But dealing with her ex is the least of Hannah's concerns when evidence of dark magic begins to appear all over Salem. Hannah's sure it's the work of a deadly blood witch, but her coven is less than convinced. So Hannah is forced to team up with the last person she wants to see, Veronica. And while the pair attempt to smoke out the blood witch, Hannah meets Morgan, a cute new ballerina in town. Trying to date amid a supernatural crisis is easier said than done, especially when the attacks on Salem's witches becomes deadlier by the day. Now, with everything she loves on the line, Hannah must confront this murderous villain before her coven, and any chance she has with the new girl is destroyed. I just love a good witchy story. This one kind of, it kind of reminds me of X-Hex in the sense that it's like a fun, cute, town, witchy romance, but obviously it's very different. It does also have a sequel called This Coven Won't Break, so if I like this one, I will of course be picking up the sequel. And finally, I picked up A Little Bit Country by Brian D. Kennedy. Now, if you know me, you will know I am a huge country music fan. So, putting country alongside a male-male romance, you hit the nail on the head for me. I am so excited to read this one. Evan McGuire wants to be country music's biggest gay superstar. Far reach when you're 17 and living in Illinois. But for now, he's happy to do the next best thing, stay with his aunt in Jackson Hollow, Tennessee for the summer and perform at the amusement park owned by his idol, country legend Wanda Jean Stubbs. Luke Barnes hates country music. As the grandson of Verna Rose, the disgraced singer who had a famous falling out with Wanda Jean, Luke knows how much pain country music has brought his family. But when his mum's medical bills start piling up, he takes a job at the last place he wants, a restaurant at Wanda World. Neither boy is looking for romance, but sparks fly when they meet, and soon they're inseparable, until a long-lost secret about Verna and Wanda comes to light, threatening to unravel everything. Will Emma and Luke be able to get past the truth they discover? Or will their relationship go down in history as just another sad country love song? Like, you can see the smile on my face, putting country music next to this. Oh my god, like, how much does this just give you, like, Heartstopper vibes? I'm so excited to read this one. I cannot wait to pick it up. I just think it's going to be such a cute country romance and buzzing. So finally, that is it. That is all the books I bought while book shopping in London. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had such a good time making it. Let me know if you would like to see more book shopping videos in the future. Let me know down below what is your favourite book that I have hauled today, and if there are any that you would like to see me do a reading vlog for. But as always, if you did enjoy the video, please do give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more bookish content from me, comment down below with any of your thoughts and feelings. I do reply to every single comment. I love you all and I will see you in my next one.